This bill focuses on preventing hazing from happening to begin with. The Virginia Code currently mentions the development of programs to prevent violence, including hazing, but does not require curriculum, standards of learning, or any designation about what level that instruction should occur. So HB 719 seeks to require instruction in research-based hazing prevention as part of health and PE in either grades 9 or 10. As we heard today, this is a prevalent situation that many of our youth share. You heard from the members of Adam Oaks' family. Adam was a constituent, and his family were constituents of mine in my school board district. Adam was a graduate of Potomac Falls High School and tragically passed away as the result of hazing, after which his family created a foundation with a mission to raise awareness and to prevent the dangers of hazing in order to save the lives of students. This bill will seek to allow for the instruction to help students learn how to prevent hazing situations, how to prevent being victims, how to interact if they're a bystander at the high school level before our kids are in a situation in college where this could happen. We know from research that in a one-year period in 2022, UVA reported 7 instances of hazing. VCU reported 9 instances in the 2-year period of 2021 to 2023. CNU reported 5 instances in a 2-year period of 2022 to 2024. And NBC reported that we had 50 college students die from hazing since the year 2000. So this bill seeks to prevent the harm that can happen before we need to address how to deal with the aftermath of it. University of Maryland reported that 1 in 10 students didn't even know what hazing was or that they had been hazed. So I would submit to the subcommittee that with this instruction, we better inform our students, we educate them to prevent the damage that can occur. And I know you heard already from the Oaks family, but they are also available online to speak to this bill in specific. The legislation has unanimously passed out of committee in the Senate, and I hope it's the will of this subcommittee to report it to the full committee as well. Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the committee, Jay Deck with the Virginia Education Association. We think this is a great bill. If we can prevent hazing and bullying in schools, then we have done a great job, because that hopefully will help with college hazing and other matters. So thank you, Delegate Reeser.
Good morning, everyone. In support of HB 719, our entire family appreciates Delegate Reeser for patroning the bill, and we'd also like to thank the co-patrons of the bill and the supporters of everyone who passes this bipartisan bill. I feel strongly if Adam had received the proper research-based hazing prevention education, he would still be alive today. There were 11 young men indicted in Adam's death who were all products of the Virginia public school system. I'll double down on my previous statement and say, I feel confident had those 11 young men received the proper research-based hazing prevention education in Virginia's public school system, at least one of them would have known to call 911 for help that night, and Adam would be alive today. Or possibly one of them would have used a technique that we could have taught them to distract, deflect, or direct the bad behavior away from someone, or maybe not even put Adam or any of the 8 other pledges in harm's way that night. Over the past 3 years, we've traveled around the state of Virginia, and we're horrified by the stories we've heard about students hazing each other. Thousands of students in Virginia are being hazed in athletics, clubs, band, as well as other fraternities and sororities. We've heard horrible stories about sororities waterboarding their pledges. When did we lose our moral compass and value of human dignity? The mental toll this puts on a person is something they're going to carry with them for the rest of their lives.
Madam Chair, speaking of the bill.
Delegate Tita.
I really appreciate what you're doing, and I do believe that this training is necessary, but I really just feel like we need an overhaul of training. I mean, we need training, human trafficking in the health classes, social media bullying. I mean, we're not valuing life the way, we need to. And it grieves me that we can do this. It's a little bit of, in my opinion, a little bit of a Band-Aid. It's not really addressing. I mean, kids need to learn if they're not learning it at home. I just don't know what this is going to do. It's hard not to support it because, of course, they need that training, but they need a lot of other training as well. I mean, the human trafficking, they don't self-identify as victims, and our schools are filled with them. So I appreciate what you're trying to do. I don't really believe it's going to be the answer, but I know it's a start. So thank you.
Madam Chair, may I respond?
Delegate Reeser.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Delegate Tata, there are many things that our students need to learn, and our Virginia Code already requires that hazing be addressed. This just provides guidelines from the VDOE on how to do that. Thank you.
So this type of education is already part of the required instructional material. Am I correct in understanding that?
I'll let Delegate Reeser respond.
Madam Chair, Delegate Scott, the Virginia Code mentions that hazing should be taught. There are no guidelines or curriculum set by VDOE, so this legislation seeks to implement how that can happen. It's not happening.
It's a follow-up question, Madam Chair.
Delegate Scott.
So right now, if a locality wanted to incorporate something, they could, because the code does mention this. So if my local school division wanted to do some sort of training on this or education on this, they have that ability under current Virginia law.
Madam Chair.
Delegate Reeser.
Madam Chair, Delegate Scott, currently, because there are no guidelines, school divisions are not doing it. There are no SOLs. And I think that was the reason for the substitute, the amendment by way of substitute, that the stakeholders that you heard from previously had concerns about whether it would be effectuated in the manner in which we are used to holding our public K through 12 schools accountable for what they're teaching to our children.